I've tried to record chanting because of the daily Lotus Sutra class. Every 2 months, once or 2 months, I go to the Delhi to do the Lotus Sutra class. So let's get started. Establishing the place of prayer. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Here now we have just chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. At this moment, this place has become the place of prayer to Odaimoku and the place of prayer for our heart during lifetime. At this very place of prayer to Odaimoku, all Buddhas have attained enlightenment. This is also the place where the Buddha have expounded their teaching. This world in which we live, believing in the chanting Odaimoku, is the place where the Buddha live in peace. Adoration of Gohonzon. In the mandala Gohonzon, the object of our worship is shown the origin of how the mandala was written. One day in the 12th month of 1274, 11th year of Bunne, I Nichiren wrote the Gohonzon in the village of Haki, province of Kai, the present-day Minobu-san Yamanashi prefectures. It was a time when over 2,220 years had passed since Shakyamuni Buddha passed away. Nevertheless, in the 3 countries of India, China, and Japan, namely in the world, there had never existed a Gohonzon like this. This is probably because none of our past masters attempt to spread the Gohonzon among the society, even though they were aware of its existence. Or it may be that nobody knew about it. Shakyamuni Buddha, after careful consideration, determined that he should conceal the Gohonzon until the arrival of an opportune moment to reveal it, revealing it to the people in the period of Mappo. In the fact, the Buddha preaches in the Lotus Sutra that his messenger, Jogyo Bosatsu, should spread the Buddha's teaching in the first 500 years of Mappo, as predicted by the Buddha. Nichiren Daishonin appeared in this world to reveal the Gohonzon and expounded the teaching of the Odaimoku, signature given by Nichiren Shu, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Seigon, words of oath before reciting the Lotus Sutra, to carry out the way of the Buddha as a Buddha Shakyamuni. Buddha has been expounding his teaching without rest from the beginning to this day, not only in our world, but also in immutable words. Among his teaching, the Lotus Sutra is the most important. If you devote yourself completely to the faith in the Lotus Sutra, you will surely become a person who truly practices the way of the Buddha. All of you, even after my death, should continue having faith in the Lotus Sutra and reciting it. Make this oath before me now. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Chapter 2, Expedient. After carefully considering how he can expound carefully the substance of his enlightenment, Shakyamuni Buddha calmly opened his eyes and began talking to Shariputra, who was known to be a Buddha's wisest disciple. The wisdom of the Buddha, not to mention my own wisdom, is so deep and wide that it is far beyond your imagination. Since you want to understand Buddha's enlightenment, if it is expounded as it is, I first try to reveal my mind by using Hoben, expedient wisdom, pouring your heart. However, since you could not even understand the purpose behind Hoben, you are far from being able to enter the world of the truth. Shomo, Shariputra, Shravaka who understand impermanency just as listening to the Buddha's teaching, and Engak, Pratyeka Buddha, who seeks enlightenment just by sensing impermanency through experience, are the people who are practicing individually to reach the state of enlightenment. Hence, they can't understand the interrelation between expedient and the truth. This is because the Buddha, unlike you, has trained himself under countless Buddha, carry out countless practice taught by them, and accomplish the goals of severe practice in order to attain enlightenment. His reputation is widespread. The Buddha's enlightenment is unprecedentedly deep and has been preached and expounded skillfully. However, it seems to be too difficult for you to understand the true meaning. Shravaka, Shastra. Ever since I became a Buddha, I have been expounding my teaching broadly, using example and parables. I use every kind of hogan, expedient wisdom, in order to rid people and save them from attachment. The reason that was possible is because the Buddha is perfectly equipped with an understanding of both hogan and the truth. Shastra. The Buddha's wisdom is wide and deep. That is to say, the Buddha holds immutable minds known as Zihikisha, love, compassion, happiness, and disinterestedness. And when he expounds his teaching, he is versatile and flexible, equipped with 10 kinds of supreme wisdom, and teaches as he believes without reserve. At that time, his mind is unshakable, wiping off hesitation, completely distancing from any suffering, and focusing on goodness so that he can ascertain the truth. In other words, the Buddha has all the wisdom to teach and lead all people. Shastra. The Buddha adapts his teaching in accordance with time and place, conjuring a teaching method fit for each person he teaches. His way of teaching is very flexible, bringing those whom he teaches to certainty and joy. Shastra. All told, the Buddha has attained the Dharma, immutable excellence, which none has achieved up to now. I will stop expounding my teaching to you. Listen carefully. Shastra. I probably should not expounding my teaching to you since you can't understand the true purpose of the Buddha's teaching. The reason being, my word of enlightenment is unprecedented and is the most superior. It is a word you will never be able to reach. Only the Buddha attains the reality of all things in their fullest extent. This true state of all things must be viewed from the foreign 10 kind of perspective. So is the outside appearance. Sho is the nature hidden inside. Tai is a combination of the two. These three factors are the fundamental existence. Reiki is the inner pearl. Sa is the outside effect. In is the indirect cause. En is the indirect cause. Ka is the result. Ho is a new interrelationship with the surrounding suitable to its effect. The factor of Hong, which encompass So, Sho, and Tai, and Matsu, which encompass the rest, are the factors existence in all things and always complement one another. This is To, or equalities. I, Shakyamuni, am originally a Hotoke Buddha. I am always expounding the teaching of the Buddha to lead you into the way of the Buddha. Many hundreds of thousands of years have passed since I began expounding my teaching. In order to help save you, I have even hidden myself tentatively from this world, but I am always present in this Saha world. I always live here expounding the Dhamma. To tell the truth, I am always here, but for those who don't realize that, I am intentionally hiding myself from your sight. When you notice my absence, you appreciate the Buddha for the first time, hold services for his remains, and then soon every one of you began to seek the Buddha seriously from the heart. Once you have trusted the Buddha in all seriously, you will honestly begin to want to meet him and seek the way of the Buddha as the course of your lives. When you enter the state of mind, you realize the Buddha is present in this world along with his disciples. You will then begin to understand the reason why the Buddha is saying, I am always here. Once I choose to hide and appear on purpose in order to save you all. In fact, if there is anyone who seeks me, not just on earth, but anywhere in space, there I am able to expound my teachings. You might think there is no Buddha simply because you don't care to read and adhere to the Buddha's teaching. When I look at your ways of life, I can tell very well how hard you are struggling with various suffering. unable to find a way to escape from them. I hide myself from you both to help you. Realize you can never escape from the suffering of this world by yourself, and become convinced that you should seek the Buddha and his teaching. When these feelings arise, you will understand that the Buddha is actually expounding his teaching at all times. This is known as the Buddha's supernatural powers. In other words, the Buddha is anywhere at any time, even when you suspect that the world has become to its end and that it will burn to destruction in a great fire. My mental state always remains peaceful, and my surroundings are full of people with the same mental state. It is like, for example, a beautiful flower garden, and best there stand a building like a castle. Around it grow trees full of beautiful flowers, and fruits, and people are living happily. It is as if heavenly beings are spraying music, and petals of the mandala flowers are graceful pouring around us. My words of enlightenment, my words of wisdom will never be destroyed, but all of you who are at a lost breath believe this world is moving toward destruction, and that's why you exist in this world. All kinds of frightful and painful events will arise. The reason why you are suffering as you are right now is because you have totally failed to reflect upon your heartfelt ways of life filled with worldly desire, without paying any attention to the light religion and the light faith, and not being mindful of making any effort. Those who continue to conduct good deeds for the world, for its people, with a light faith at heart, are released from the building of self-attachment, and neither fool themselves nor others. People of this kind will understand that I am expounding my teaching here all the time. To those who seek the way of the Buddha in such state of mind, I teach them that the Buddha's life is eternal. To those who do not seek the faith, I teach them to have faith in him. Thus, my wisdom works at my own will. Since I have limitless wisdom and have gained an eternal life, I am capable of saving all people, and these incomparable powers can be obtained thanks to my own endeavors, practiced day by day, without rest. Those who make effort to try to comprehend the significance of life, you must not question the true eternal existence of the Buddha. You must fundamentally take yourself from your current hypocritical ways of life. That way, you will understand that the teaching of the Buddha are fruitful. When the renowned physician saved his children, who themselves were suffering from deadly poison, but would not accept any medicine given by their father, by telling them, "Your father is dead," when in fact he was alive, nobody braved him. Likewise, I am actually the father of this world, capable of saving all people from various pains and suffering. However, you can't tell what is right and what is wrong. In order to open your eyes, I say that the Buddha is not here, while actually I am here. But if you become aware that I am really here, you will gradually lose the sense of appreciation and begin to develop arrogance. Then eventually you will return to the life full of worldly desire, and ultimately fall into the three evil lanes of hell, angry spirits, and animals. I can see clearly whether or not you people are following the right way. That is why I expound the teaching in many ways in order to read you appropriately. I have only one wish. My wish is to know how I can quickly lead you to the right way of faith and make you become a Buddha as soon as possible. The practice of the Odaimoku chanting, or the merit Shakyamuni Buddha has attained in other words, his true heart, are included in the 5 virtues of Myoho Renge-kyo. If we believe in and practice the teaching of the 5 virtues at the cost of our lives, we are able gradually but surely to gain the Buddha's true heart. Devouring the stupor of treasures. To believe in and practice the Lotus Sutra is extremely difficult. Therefore, as the Buddha will be highly delighted if there is anyone who always performs the practice of the Sutra seriously and continue to believe in it and keep it. All Buddhas feel the same way. The people whom the Buddha truly value are those who lead their lives based on the faith in the Lotus Sutra. They are the very people who have true courage. They are true devout. They are true the precept, and are the ones meant to be called true believers. They are most likely to follow directly the way of the Buddha with high result. After I enter Nirvana, and when the days of Mappo, the period of later age of the Dharma, arrive, those who read and recite the Lotus Sutra and practice it with firm belief in its true disciples of the Buddha and are able to live with sincere heart. In the days after the Buddha extinction, if there is anyone who expounds the true meaning of the Lotus Sutra, this person shall be a right to radiate on the people in this world. When the world becomes extremely hostile and full of hatred, if there is anyone who truly understands the teaching of this sutra and expound them to the world, this person's effort will never be in vain. His reputation will prevail, winning the support and protection from many peoples. Chapter 21, the supernatural powers of the Tathagata. Within that, spirits of the message of this Lotus Sutra will be handed down from generation to generation forever. I, the Buddha, state the main points of teaching carried in the Odaimoku. The Odaimoku include all the merits of the Buddha's enlightenment. The Odaimoku contain all the supernatural powers of the Buddha to save all peoples. The Odaimoku is the characterization of the Buddha's boundless wisdom necessary to teach and lead all beings. The Odaimoku expresses all merits the Buddha has practiced. These four things shown in the Buddha's real image and spirit are experienced revealed in the Lotus Sutra. The Buddha's true mind in the Odaimoku. Especially after the Buddha extinction, you must keep in mind that you should believe from the bottom of your heart in the Lotus Sutra and the Odaimoku in which the entire mind of the Buddha is clearly explained, and that you should recite and study the Lotus Sutra and chant the Odaimoku in order to practice the Buddha's teaching as instructed by the Buddha. Wherever the place might be at the place where the teaching of the Lotus Sutra have spread and the faith in the Odaimoku is practiced in correct and proper ways, you must set up a place of prayer and spend a right with faith in the sutra, be it in a village or countryside with ferns, woods, or groves, or in a monastery, or in a house of ordinary people, or residence of higher status people, or in a mountain village or a vast plain. The reason for this is that nowhere else but a place where the Odaimoku is believed in and its teaching are expounded is a true place of prayer. It is this place of prayer to the Odaimoku where all Buddhas have become enlightenment. Here, the Buddha expounded their teaching. In other words, the Saha world in which you live, believing in the Odaimoku, is the very place where the Buddha's true word lies. Offering of marriage. I now show my appreciation to the three treasures of the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, for my being able just now to chant the Odaimoku and recite the Lotus Sutra, and offer the merits of the chanting of the Odaimoku and the reciting of the Lotus Sutra to all those who have granted me favors with gratitude and to those who have passed away. I have the honor of chanting the Odaimoku and reciting the Lotus Sutra in front of the Mandala Gohonzon, which shows its perfect harmony and its unprecedented in history. I call on Kuon-Jitsujo no Shakyamuni Buddha, the eternal Buddha Shakyamuni, or the original Buddha, who continued his eternal relief mission. I call on Nammyo Horengekyo, the fundamental law of cause and effect, which works beneath all existence, including human beings. I call on the Honge Gyojo, super practice Bodhisattva, Nichiren Daibosatsu, the Buddha's messenger assigned especially to a period of Mappo, the latter age of the Dharma, who revealed the existence of the original Buddha and the true role of Nammyo Horengekyo. I pray from the bottom of my heart and offer my expanded appreciation to these fundamental three treasures, all expounded in the Lotus Sutra Nammyo Horengekyo. Especially, I pray that the merit of our faith will reach the spirit of our ancestors all the state time. I pray that all spirits related and released will attain Buddhahood. The concluded part of the Juryo-hon, chapter 16, the duration of the life of the Tathagata, and the Jinriki-hon, chapter 21, the supernatural powers of the Tathagata. Of the Lotus Sutra, which we have just recited, read as follows. I have only one wish, that is to know how I can quickly lead you to a right way of faith so that you can attain Buddhahood. For that purpose, chant Odaimoku and lead your life, following the teaching of the Odaimoku. even if you can't see me. If you do so, you will certainly walk along the way of the Buddha and attain enlightenment. In this word, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Repentance, for deep reflection on everyday life. The cause of all troubles and suffering in life all come from your misunderstanding. If you wish to notice your error, you should collect your mind and see the truth in all matters. You must have proper belief to do so. If you deeply reflect upon your errors, even if they are errors which come from misunderstanding, and if you see the true appearance in things, it will be like when fog and dew disappear in the sunlight. You will eventually realize your error and certainly be forgiven. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. 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 四教難事略残事者画足歓迎諸仏役年如是死人諸仏昇誕世俗有名世俗精進世名自戒行図打者即位失徳無常仏道能往来世独自死教自身仏師従順全知仏滅道後の下後義で昇天に世間資源奥一世の周遊説一切天に下欲よ Prayer to declare faith. In order to live a life of proper faith, let us continue to chant the Odaimoku so that we will never forget our kind hearts of compassion towards all living beings and walk along the proper way. Together with all our compassion, we swear to devote ourselves to fostering with love and care and the relationship of our faith in the Odaimoku, which have just been accorded to us the rest of our life. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Thank you very much. Let's continue chanting for inner peace of all living beings. सभी जीवित प्राणियों की आंतरिक शांति के लिए नाम-म्योहो रेंगे क्यो का जाप जारी रखें. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. कल मिलेंगे. Have a nice weekend. See you tomorrow.